All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to start off by giving all the praises, all the honor, and all the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Barakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, GMS, for telling us truth. Honors to the brethren in the Akim out there, that's pushing out this truth with all sincerity and in faith, and to Wadi Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, for allowing me once again to come back with another lesson. And the title of this lesson is simply going to be titled Woe to Babylon. Okay? Give me 1 second. And this lesson is basically coming from the this chapter that I was briefly just kind of going through, and I think you guys might know where I'm going. In the book of Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, whereas you see, woe be unto thee Babylon, which that'll be the title of this lesson. And as you go throughout these scriptures, it's a pretty cut and dry on what this is talking about, from verses 1 to 18, and you can even go further, and you can kind of already almost go to the 22nd verse if you'd like, which that's what we'll probably do. But as you go through these lessons or these scriptures, verse to verse, it's basically just touching on how the Heavenly Father, the things that He's going to be bringing are going to be inevitable, which when you go into this word definition of inevitable, inevitable means certain to happen, impossible to avoid or prevent. And that's the will of Yahweh Shai. And one of the things that is going to be impossible to avoid and to prevent is the destruction of America, because that's America's oracle to be destroyed. Okay, and because this place was solely created, obviously for the punishment of the nation of Israel, Yahweh Shai's people, and also not only just to punish our people, but to punish the wicked as well, which being Esau, Edom. Okay, this is the place in which the Heavenly Father is gonna have His burnt sacrifice. Okay, all right. So this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 1, and it says, "Woe be unto thee." Now, when you go into the definition of woe, it goes into destruction. Okay, which ultimately, depending on the severity of the destruction, it will lead to death. Okay, and it says, "Woe be unto thee Babylon and Asia, woe be unto thee Egypt and Syria," which when you read Babylon is talking about this place, America. Okay, verse 2, it says, "Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair, bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand," meaning your destruction is at the door for the most part. Okay, the end of America is soon to be, and we're already in the where I would say America is on its last leg, so to speak. Okay, and these are going to be the things in which the Heavenly Father is going to throw at that last leg, so that it gives out and then it falls and it will never rise again. Verse 3, "A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back?" Which this sword is talking about those missiles. Okay, because when you go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and we'll start at verse 5. Isaiah 34 verse 5, and it says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, which is talking about those missiles. And behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, which when you go into the word Idumea, it's a Greek way of saying Edom, okay? And upon the people of my curse to judgment, because that's those people who the world calls white, so-called white people, they're cursed, just alone off the way they look. Okay, the Heavenly Father gave them that mark, which would that'd be the mark of Cain. Okay. And it said, a sword descend upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? And that fire will also be coming from the missiles and also the chariots. Okay. And it says, plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? And these are all questions. And the answer to these questions is very simple. Is no one's going to be able to turn away or turn back the sword. No one's going to be able to quench the fire when it's starting to burn. And no one's is going to be able to, drive away the plagues when they're sent. Okay? And it says, may any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. So it's the man upstairs that's the one that's sending them. And he is the only one. The truth of the matter is that he's the one that sends it. And he's the one that could, quench it. If he wants it to stop, he can have it to stop. But it's safe to say that the Heavenly Father is not going to do that once he gets started. He's going to allow these things to play out as they're supposed to. Okay? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, which is his anger, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? So you have a lot of people that's just gonna get fucked up out here. All right, just to put it like that. People are gonna start getting jacked up. And then when you read on, it says, the earth quaketh, and the foundation thereof, the sea riseth up with waves from the deep. The waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot unto the ends of the world. And that is going into those missiles. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no weapon that has ever been forged, or I'll say this, there's a weapon, there is no weapon that is forged, whether it's in the past, until now, that could go from one end of the world until another part of the world. Not very, and you could say like, oh, because you read the arrow and be like, oh, that's a real arrow, it's going from this place to that place. And it's like, no. I don't care how strong you are, you can have the sharpest arrow and the strongest bow with the greatest archer of all time, and you still ain't doing nothing like this. You're still not going to be able to do what these missiles are going to be able, that are capable of doing, which is going from one country or one part of the earth all the way to another part within 30 minutes. Okay? So at a process of elimination of weapons that are forged today, this would have to be it. The missiles, the nuclear missiles, this is what that is describing. No doubt about it. And it says, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. And it says, and like as an arrow which is shot of a strong archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that are sent upon the earth shall not return again. In verse 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And that's the thing, is that's going to be a lot of people's, questions of, fuck, man, like we're seeing all these things happen. What are we going to do? And we go out in the highways and byways, we make our lessons, and sometimes people ask us a question, like, hey, what are you going to do when this time comes? And our answer is very cut and dry and straight to the point, is what we will do, and the only thing that we can do is to believe and to trust in the Yahweh Bashem Shai. And that in the hopes, because we're saved, we're going to be saved by our hope. In the hopes that he has a hedge of protection over us, that he guides us every step through the way, that he guides us, he protects us, he has angels to give charge over us lest we dash our foot against a stone, and then people don't like that answer. They're like, man, you ain't gonna just trust in God. That ain't enough. That's enough for us. For you people, you need more. You people need to see it, smell it, and touch it, and then maybe, and only maybe, then will you believe. But see, we have faith. We believe in something that we don't have any evidence of anything. But our faith, our hope is that the Lord will be there, and he will protect us, and he will guide us, even when all around seems lost. And it says, verse 17 again, I'll read it. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And it says, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, and what shall I do when these evils shall come? And again, it goes back to the trust, the faith, the belief in the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Shai, that he will be there. Just like he's there whenever we're going through anything, even if, and this is the time of trouble such as never was. The Lord's here with us in our many battles that we go through, whether it's in the flesh, whether it's in the mind, in the body, whatever. The Lord's here with us in those times, and he's gonna be with us ever so more in those times as well, in the time of trouble such as never was. It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way all right and trust in him. And that's what we got to do, brothers, is ultimately trust in him. And guess what? Believe in him. And guess what? He gonna be there. He gonna help us. He gonna help us and guide us every step of the way. Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are set as scourges for an amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn away from their wickedness. And that's the wicked of our people. Here it is, you're seeing all these things and you still ain't gonna get right. You still gonna be a knucklehead. You still gonna make it worse for yourself, man. And it says, nor be mindful, or Slakia, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, virtue shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and it says, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And that's how the Heavenly Father is going to be taking people out this way. And if you somehow make it out of that, that's okay. He's going to get you that way, or he's going to get you another way. However the Heavenly Father deems it fit for you to go, that'll be it. All right. But knowing that these times are coming, we have to continue to pray, continue to watch, and to continue to be steadfast and unmovable and always abounding in this work to the best of our ability to make our calling and our election sure. But through the Spirit, brothers, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I pray this lesson was edifying, exhorting, and comforting. And as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Akakwadash. And it's on to the next one, brother. Shalom.